Hello everybody, I am here. My name is Sarah Seidelman and I am doing a second Facebook Live video. I have Charlie here, my son, who is doing technical support, and I thought we would wait for a few minutes to see if anybody shows up, and I was going to give a little hint. Yes,
listening.
Nobody's listening yet.
Oh wait.
See, that's what happens. Oh, there's one person listening. This is all we need.
How do I on your Facebook Live?
So I was going to talk about a good question to ask yourself when you're kind of struggling with a decision about something, when you're trying to decide whether something's a good idea or not. And so I know all of us have different stuff. Like, for example, I was... a couple months ago, I got submitted some book covers to decide which book cover is the one that I like for a new book that I have coming out in the spring. And hey Charlie, can you turn the volume down because I can hear that? And it can be really hard because you're like, which thing is the right thing to choose? Or maybe you have a choice of going on a date with a person who's asked you to go do something, or maybe you've got a choice of joining a project or not joining a project, or taking a job or not taking a job. There's all kinds of decisions that we're all faced with that are kind of forks in the road. And one of the questions that I found really helpful in these various situations is, the question is, how good are you willing to let it get? And the reason I pose that question is often when we're really stuck trying to make a decision, it's because maybe we're compromising. Unconsciously, we're going, well, if I was a really kind and compassionate person, I would accept this deal for a job. I would accept these conditions. But I think when we're feeling a little confused or muddled, it's always good to ask, how good am I willing to let it get? So I say to myself, like, Sarah, how good are you willing to let it get? And so it might be like, you've got two choices, and both of them don't sound, neither one of them sounds particularly perfect or appealing to you. And so you ask yourself, and that question just kind of opens up your mind, what would make it really awesome? What would make it incredible? What would make you say, heck yeah, I want to choose that option, or heck yeah, I want to join this project, or take the job, or go out on that date with that person? Because when we know, when we expand our possibilities of what we really, really want, that's when things get exciting. So anyway, I'll just repeat, I'm Sarah Seidelman, and I'm here doing it's my second Facebook Live, and this is just a little question you can ask yourself when you're faced with a choice, or maybe it's a yes/no thing. Somebody's invited you to participate in something. You've been invited to an event to do something, maybe. You can add, but you're not feeling completely like a hell yes, because that's where you want to be. When you say yes to something, you want to feel that, oh yeah, like you're so excited, you can't believe that somebody asked you to do this thing. So if you don't feel that hell yes energy, the way to kind of find where you might have a hell yes energy is to ask, how good are you willing to let it get? So what would make it a hell yes? Is there anything that would make it a hell yes? Maybe it's some little detailed changes, or there's something about the deal that is better. So just asking yourself that question about, and I don't know, maybe somebody's got a question that they're struggling with right now, and share it in comments, because Charlie, my trusty assistant, or my son, is checking the comments. So if you have something that you're struggling with, feel free to throw it on there, and we can talk about it. But how good are you willing to let it get? When I say that to myself, Sarah, how good are you willing to let it get? Often it expands my possibilities, and I start thinking, well, if I was really gonna let my dream, the roof on my dream, just go completely through the roof, if I was just gonna have no limits. Wait, Charlie's telling me something. Yes, Charlie?
Comment.
Oh, we have a comment. Oh yes, somebody's saying, love this tweak to mind body check. Thank you, Tracy Beasley. Yes, it's kind of like a check-in with yourself, like when we feel a little muddled about something, to go, how good am I willing to let it get? Could I, maybe it would be more fun if this one person was going to be there, or maybe it would be more fun if I had the opportunity to express myself more clearly, or maybe it would be more fun if I said no. Like maybe this muddled feeling, how good are you willing to let it get? The answer might pop up, I don't want to do it at all. Like how good am I willing to let it get? Sometimes it's like saying, how good am I? I'd rather be in my PJs reading a fine book than ever go to this thing or do this, whatever it is that's being asked for of you, or go on this date. I'm trying to think of a lot of different potential scenarios. So just asking yourself, how good am I willing to let it get, can really just provide that expansiveness. Because I think as humans, we forget we have all these limits that are subconscious, some are unconscious, and some are conscious. But we need to remember that we're in this ginormous universe where so much is possible. And so we have to constantly ask ourselves this question, because if anything is possible, if like miraculous things are possible, then why not tweak every scenario, every possibility, every question by asking that question, and so yeah, in fact, I used it today when I had a decision to make, and I was just like, how good am I willing to let it get? When I asked that question, it allowed me to, I gave myself permission to investigate one other alley, which I was feeling a little bit guilty about, like, oh no, people will feel badly that I don't want to do that exact thing, or people's toes might feel stepped on. But when I allowed myself the freedom to investigate, kind of go down one more different pathway and kind of check it out, it gave me a really sweet feeling of relief. And ultimately, I finally was able to make a decision that feels really calm, really great, and that, yeah, is bringing a lot of joy. So, thank you, Steph Lagana. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. She says, I love your energy on video. Well, thank you. So I'm wondering what questions you guys, or what situations that are coming up in your lives, when you ask yourself that question, how good am I willing to let it get? What pops into mind? Like what limits or what unlimited things come into your mind? Do ideas bubble up? Or, yeah, and then I would encourage you to take a step towards that unlimited dream, whether it is saying no and like staying home and watching Netflix. That may just be your best option, and waiting for that thing to pop up that feels so good, that feels like a hell yes, that feels where you're really feeling into that expansiveness in every direction. Because people, we are made to create miracles, and so we got to stay open to and do it for each other too. If you have a friend you can see is who is maybe struggling with some, yes, no, or turn right or turn left, you could challenge them by saying, friend, Bob, whoever you're talking to, how good are you willing to let it get? And see what pops up for them. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have topics you'd like to cover in the next Facebook Live, I would love to hear those, and I'd love to hear like if that question helps you expand or does something good for you. Anyway, namaste, and thank you for watching.